All right. So we are here in the Wikimedia Hackathon in Zürich, and basically this is really improvised. While organizing this event, hey, we have someone. Hi, Srikar.
Hi.
Good. So basically, when I was organizing, well, I've been helping organizing this hackathon here with Wikimedia Switzerland, and I was also involved last year with Wikimedia Netherlands. Actually, I was the main person responsible of processing the requests for sponsorship, for travel sponsorship, and we had to turn down many requests from India, Sri Lanka, I think mainly from India and Sri Lanka. And well, the reason was not that we don't like people from India and Sri Lanka. The reason is that, well, the travel costs are very high, and also like there were a lot of requests. And I don't think so. First of all, is the cost of like traveling from India as opposed to travel from France to Switzerland, but also it's because I think there's the principle itself is not quite right. I mean that we don't have regular hackathons or Devcamps or whatever name is appropriate in India and in Asia, and then the way to solve this is by flying 40 people to Europe. It's something broken already in the concept. So this is why I was thinking, well, we should do something. But then again, I mean, I work at the Wikimedia Foundation. I'm based in San Francisco, so I don't think that the model is, I mean, the model for the Wikimedia Hackathon in Europe is not that the foundation organizes something. It's that there's a chapter, usually changing every year, and then we help them. So it would be good, I think it would be good and very useful to try to apply this model with whatever adaptations in India and in other countries in Asia. So let me just explain briefly. Well, actually, maybe I just started. I just had my breakfast, so I just started. Boof. But maybe it's good that we have just a bit of presentation since we are not that many here. Yeah. So, yeah, do you think so? Well, my name is Kim Jil. Hi, I work at the foundation. I help organizing developer events. So, you want to?
Hi, my name is Jeff, and I basically work on front-end tools. So I was an IEG grantee, and I built a visualization tool. Now I'm working with a grants team to build workflow tools for them.
Where are you based?
I'm based out of Bangalore.
Bangalore
and Chennai.
Bangalore, Chennai. Okay. So.
Hi, I'm Arun. I go by the name PlaneMad on Wikipedia. So most of the Indian maps on Wiki is something which I had done lots of years back. And currently I'm a IIG grantee as well, working on an automation system to automate the map generation process on Wikipedia.
And you're based?
Based in Dharamshala, Himachal Pradesh, where very close to the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, good.
Hi, I am Harsh. I am from Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and I've been contributing in Wikipedia for last 2 years. So yeah.
And we're introducing ourselves.
Hi, I'm Himeshi. I was a Google Summer of Code student in 2013, and then I went on to be a Google Coding Mentor, and now here I'm at the Hackathon.
And you are based where?
I'm from Colombo, Sri Lanka.
Okay, very good. And Srikar, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi all. I'm just a newbie to Wikipedia, so I'm just trying to learn few things. Is my voice audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I came to know about this meeting by Harsh, who is beside this. So I was just eager to learn few things from this meeting and how to contribute to Wikipedia. Maybe I'll just join this. I was contributing to Mozilla and as a Mozilla rep, so contributing to open source.
Okay, very good. And
yeah.
We are introducing ourselves, so you're right on time.
And what is your location?
My location is Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh.
Right, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Amir. I'm from Iran and I'm here.
Sorry, just landing. It's 9:30 in the morning, which is early time for some people that were at midnight, like very productive stuff. All right, so let me first explain you what is the model that we are using to organize the hackathon in Europe, okay? Because it's a model that I think is working quite well. So first of all, the hackathon, the European hackathon doesn't really belong to anybody. It's definitely not belonging to the Wikimedia Foundation. It doesn't belong to a specific chapter either. It belongs to the chapter that is organizing the hackathon on a specific year, but it changes from one year to the other. We don't have a strict rule. I mean, maybe like for instance, Wikimedia Germany organized it like I think 2 years in a row, but last year was Netherlands, and this year is Switzerland, and next year we don't even know now. You know, this is actually good. It is good. Well, and what the Wikimedia Foundation does is that we provide more or less the continuum. So we don't know where it's going to be next year, but we know that there's going to be a hackathon next year. So this is good because the fact that nobody owns the hackathon makes it quite balanced. I mean, Wikimedia Switzerland have full control over the hackathon this year, but then everything will change, and next year is going to be someone else. And actually, this makes it quite flexible, and many people, many organizations feel attached to the hackathon. They love to come here, but nobody owns it, and that's good. You know, so that I think this is something that we would need to find a model for that nobody really owns the hackathon, and this is the way that the community as a whole owns the hackathon. Then another interesting point is how the foundation collaborates with the local organization. Well, first of all, it needs to be a local organization. It needs to be someone really in the ground. So, well, in the case of Wikimedia Switzerland or Netherlands, it's obvious. You know, they know the place where it's going to happen. They can just go to the venue, talk to the local organizations like the youth hostel or the city council or whoever, and the foundation basically does nothing at the local level. What we do is, well, first of all, who's organizing the foundation? They include it in their budget, you know, in the requests to the FDC, or maybe for smaller events, it could be something that could be requested directly to the foundation, you know, through any of the grants programs. This is not a problem, but basically the idea is that whoever is organizing the hackathon should have enough budget to pay what costs money. We try to, like, for instance, well, I'm not even sure. Like, Wikimedia Switzerland is paying something for this venue, but actually it's a reduced price. So, anyway, nobody is earning money with a hackathon. It's not a business. If you want to do any business, don't run hackathons. But also, nobody should lose money or be compromised because you are stepping in and organizing an event. So that's the first thing. Ideally, it would be included in your annual budget when you ask for grants to the Wikimedia movement. And then basically the local organizer takes care of selecting the venue and making sure that the Wi-Fi is going to work and whatever, the food, something, you know, all those things. They also take care of supporting the travelers. So if we are going to sponsor people, then they decide how they want to organize that, if it's them buying their tickets, or also it's the local organizers who help them getting visas if needed. So basically it's all this work that it's not really tied to a hackathon. If you would want to have an event about anything, you would have to do this homework anyway, you know. So you don't need to have technical people, developers involved on this. And then what we provide, what the foundation provides, is a contact with the developed community. We provide it to, for instance, to select the community members that will be sponsored, because many times the local organizers, they don't know the people, they don't know about the community. So we help there. and we also help with the schedule. Basically, it's not that we organize it, the foundation, is that we'll get sorted out. In principle, we want that all these activities are done by the white community, but for instance, this year, nobody volunteered organizing the schedule, so okay, I'll do it, you know. But basically, from the point of view of a local organizer, they don't need to be the ones driving the schedule, for instance, which is something that usually for a local organizer is complex because you have to be really involved in Wikitech and all the discussions, technical discussions. Something that was interesting that was done for the first time, I believe, here is that the budget for sponsoring participants was pulled from different organizations. So the Wikimedia Foundation brought, I don't know, 60, 70% probably of the budget. But then different chapters, Wikimedia Switzerland, France, Germany, UK, Netherlands, they also had different levels of budget. And they sponsored based on criteria, you know, say developers from my area, you know. So Wikimedia Netherlands says, we will sponsor one from the Netherlands, you know. So basically what we did is with the money of the foundation, we went through everybody that we could afford. And then other chapters would say, well, in addition to this, I will invite these people because they are relevant for our own community, our own language, our own country. And this worked very well. And it's just something that, in a way or another, also could be used in Asia, to either by chapters or different organizations within a country. You know, like for instance, in India, there's more than one organization that has budget for these things. And it could be also perhaps a model to include sponsors from different states in India. So I don't know. There's possibilities. Just to explain you how this works. And basically that's it. The rest is just details. You know, like okay, so we brought the T-shirts, but for instance, if we're organizing a hackathon in India, it doesn't make any sense to bring the T-shirts from the US because anyway, the T-shirts are produced in India, probably. Yeah. So the rest is really just details. So the bottom line would be that if someone wants to start this process, there would be someone organizing a hackathon for the next year. That organization would include it in their budget. We would work together, and then for the next year we would change. And also like the location. I think it's important to change the location and not do it like every year in, I don't know, Pune or whatever is the usual suspects. No, we need some of the usual suspects, but I also think that it's important that the hackathon can travel, and it would be then up to the organizers to decide, for instance, how do we do this? So do we do it 1 year in Sri Lanka, for instance, and all of us will go to Sri Lanka, or not? Or that would be India only, and then Sri Lanka would also have their activities. I honestly don't know. You know, and also the case of like Iran is a totally different context than India. So how do we do this? But in any case, what is clear is that in the same way that we invite, we sponsor people from other continents, I also think that those events in Asia, for instance, they also should have some budget to invite some Europeans, for instance, so they can bring all the perspectives, you know. But all these are details. I think what is important now is to start having someone that would say, okay, I'm interested in organizing it next year, you know.
It could be any organization. It's not fixed to a Wikimedia chapter. It's just okay.
Well, I mean,
and then it may be so much problem and troubles you have to face.
No,
that is more of a personal thing, but
it can be a collaboration between a chapter and an organization, like what did last year between Red Hat and Wikimedia.
I think what is important is that it's not always the same people organizing it. It is good because then that people, I mean, for many reasons. So one of the reasons is that organizing this event takes a lot of energy. So it is good that when someone steps in, you're not stepping in for life. Yeah. and also there's the opposite, is that some people say, okay, we didn't get it this year. I wanted it to be my city. Okay, well, but at least you know that next year, at least it's not going to be in the same city. So you will have chances again. And at some point, it's going to happen in your city too. So I think what is important is to change the setup every year. This is how it's working here, and it works very well, actually.
One of the issues I see in India is to have a conference of hackathon of this quality with people with so much of experience is difficult in India because the community is still small and it's not technically that involved in MediaWiki. So you cannot have something of this scale and this quality. It needs to start somewhere in lower level, and then.
But that's fine. I mean, the first Wikimedia hackathon in Europe wasn't like this either. I don't know. I think it's the 5th or 6th year that we are doing this. So no, there's no. You would just start with whatever you have, which is a lot better than nothing, which is more or less the situation now. And then, well, if every year you try to get the same level plus a bit more, then in 5 years you have a very interesting event. And I think also it's interesting then this is why, especially in the case of India, it's so easy to do a India-only event because there's enough India. You know? Yeah. But I think probably it's worth, even if most of the time it's going to be in India and most of the participants are going to come from India, I think it would be interesting to make an effort and invite some of the people that there's in Hong Kong and Taiwan, like people from Iran, Sri Lanka. I mean, really try to do it a bit international within the Asian context, because by doing this, you're also helping, in the same way that now having the European one, we are starting to think we need to have another one in Asia. Then maybe by continuing doing this, at some point, Himeshi and company, then they have a critical mass to start something in Sri Lanka, and I think it's also, and this also helps the quality of the event, because, well, then if you're inviting someone from another country that costs certain money to bring, I'm sure that those developers, they do have good quality, and they come with different perspectives, and in general, they help you. And also the fact that you are having people from other countries working in specific projects also make it for the locals more interesting, the event, to attend, because they say, wow, there's this guy from Taiwan, he's working with, I don't know, maps and Wikidata. Wow, this sounds very interesting. I'll go.
Do you know what chapters are in India?
No, I know there's Wikimedia India. Wikimedia India chapter is there.
I know Armenia.
Okay, yeah, we can go until there. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't even think that chapters should be the only way. I mean, if you get a group, I mean, organizing, let's imagine that the first hackathon in India, it's not the first, there's been...
it's already in Bombay 2011.
Bombay, Bangalore, Pune.
Yeah, but Pune, Bangalore was a small kind of a thing.
No, the Bangalore one was pretty big.
Yeah, okay.
Bangalore one was quite big.
Where language engineering is going.
Yeah, Devcamps.
Yeah, Devcamps.
Mm-hmm. So it's not the first one. I say the first one because the previous one, as far as I know, where there was a specific team of a foundation that wanted to do some work, and they met anyway with Mozilla, Red Hat, and others. And then what they did is, okay, at the same time, let's open this. But it was basically some work that was planned to be done, that was open as a hackathon. I wouldn't be talking here about really like we start like today, like this event. Yesterday the schedule was empty, and okay, let's decide what we want. So what I wanted to say is that you don't need the full chapter every year to be behind you. I mean, at the end, organizing a hackathon with, let's say, 50 people, the first year, you don't need a huge infrastructure. You don't need support, but that support can come from, a bit from the chapter, a bit from the foundation. It's not a big deal either.
Maybe as an outcome of this meeting, maybe we can outline some baby steps that we can take to at least try and have a hackathon, because probably in India, because at the moment I don't think there are enough MediaWiki hackers in Sri Lanka to start a hackathon. So, but if we can maybe send some to the Indian hackathon, then maybe we can develop more people in Sri Lanka. So then someday, then maybe we can have one in Sri Lanka.
Mm-hmm.
I think personally, I and a few others are sort of involved in building a technology community in the Himalayas, where I stay in Himachal Pradesh. And we can do something of this sort at a much smaller scale, maybe of 40 people type. It is doable. It is not very ambitious, but it's completely doable. But it's something which would be on a regional scale for that area, because traveling to and from that place is very difficult and resource intensive. But yeah, it also would take care of many of the neglected parts, Kashmir, Himachal, all the Himalayan areas, uh, which is possible. So this is sometime in October, where we're planning some other technology events as well. Yeah, I'm just putting it across that there is a slot over there for something to happen.
Well, I think there's a chance for. I mean, this is even another level. Having a way to promote smaller regional events and all this connects at some point. But at least and it's not even an outcome of this meeting, but to me, it's a way from the foundation point of view. It's like, hey, this offer. We really want to help something happening in, let's say, in India. To put it more specific, next year or within the next 12 months. That would be the first of an annual event that would have this aspiration of, okay, so you have the Wikimedia hackathon in Europe, and there's this other one that is happening in Asia. And the initiative needs to come from you guys living there. It cannot come from us.
Yeah.
So how exactly? I don't know.
Right now in India, at least, the ground people are very fragmented and distributed. At least I've not seen like a strong ground team in India.
But same here, Wikimedia Switzerland is not the center of anything when it comes to. Actually, there's no clear center, and whoever is going to organize next year. I mean, the only strong team is Germany, with the Wikidata team. But actually, they already organized a couple of them, and they are not especially interested in being the host of the next one. It's like, okay, they had their role, and that's it. So
one big difference I see, generally if you take any European country, there's one group there. But in India, it's so big that every language has a small grouping with it, and then you have an English language grouping. So probably if all of them can be put together, you have a real big team. But since that's not the case, it's like Arun was saying, it's really fractured. So
You can set another country like, I don't know, Turkey or Hong Kong. Hong Kong maybe it's not a very good idea, but maybe we can set another country at first.
no,
But I guess.
so okay, India is fragmented, but look at Europe. I mean, we do speak. Only these countries speak also 3 different languages, and Germany and 4. Sorry, there's a small one. So yes, I see that there's problems.
I guess language should not be the barrier because it's kind of developers event. So I guess Gujarati, Hindi, Marathi, that might not be the problem.
No.
In Europe, physical distance is also a low. Even though different languages, it's not so difficult to get around. In India, it's all something the size of Europe. And
so you can do 2 things. I mean, you can look at all the problems and not do it, or you can say, okay, whatever, we will start, and maybe you have to start with the obvious, Bangalore or Pune, which are the usual attractors, and the first one, let's try to do it there, something simpler. And then the second edition, you can start making more compromises because you have a critical mass that will do an exception and will be meeting in some place. And every time you move to some place, some people will not be able to attend, some others will be able to attend, which is more or less what happens here.
And organize an event is like kind of easy in India right now, because like Ahmedabad, I've been organizing like 7 or 8 events in last 6 months with a huge amount of people, like 100+ people from Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Delhi, and from other states. So like it's not kind of difficult to arrange the event. We just have to find the particular audience for that event. It's very important, like because we have a mostly less number of MediaWiki developers in India. No, we have a lots of GSOC developers, but not a particular MediaWiki developers in India. So that's the main concern, that we have to find the people that actually right now contributing in MediaWiki, so that event can be fruitful.
Yeah, and actually this relates to the fact of defining the goals.
Yeah.
So, because yeah, okay, you're right. It's probably not difficult to have 80 people in a room somewhere in India, but then what is this? What we really want? Where is these 80 people 2 months after the event?
Yeah, that is.
Well, then even easier. You know, maybe what you want to have is 30, but 30 that they're already flying around, plus some editors that are admins, and maybe this is what you would prefer. And remember, the smaller and more focused it is, the easier it is to find budget to fly people from other corners of India and other countries around, And I would say do it the first year, evaluate, and do it better the second year. So not to be too obsessed about the perfect first edition, The important thing is not to lose another year.
Yeah.
What should so say that we, the four of us maybe, are going to organize a hackathon in India, and we decide on a place and a date, and we're going to do it. So what should be the relationship with the Wikimedia chapter? Sorry, I mean, because India has one and Sri Lanka doesn't, as far as I know. No. So yeah. So if we were to do that, what steps should we take? Should they contact Wikimedia in India and prepare a budget with them, and then talk to the W Foundation?
I mean,
so
no. Yes, this is a delicate topic. Then again, it is not a delicate topic. I would say start with the same model.
I mean, where would you point us to start something like that?
I would start pointing to the MediaWiki India mailing list, saying, hey, we had this meeting, here you have the link to the video. This is all what happened, so there's no more than this. We had this discussion with whoever was that day in that place, plus a couple of people, hi, hello, that joined the Hangout. And that's it, and we want to do this, and it should be at some point probably in the next 12 months. And yes, so, but asking about the next steps there, it's not. I don't think it's the Wikimedia Foundation who has to tell what are the next steps. We are inviting here something to happen.
Or else before hackathon, we can do 5 or 6 workshops related to MediaWiki and extension and other technology across the India, and then we can plan the hackathon. It may be more fruitful, because bunch of people will come into the MediaWiki, they try to hack something, they will know something, and then they will come to the hackathon. So it may be very useful.
What I would say is do it in the way you prefer, but the goal, I mean, don't miss the goal. So the goal would be, we need to have the first hackathon in Asia that is going to be, the first that is going to be an annual event, regular event, and I would say with these very basic rules. I would say for the first edition, sure, think of India, and think of the Wikimedia Indian chapter. They need to be involved, and find the best way to do this, without falling in those traps that you start discussing about whatever. No, let's just get it done. And then the next year, and everybody knowing that the next year is going to be different. So the next year is not going to be, if you're the 4 starting this, next year is not going to be you, the 4 of you doing it. It's going to be someone else. And to me, that's the recipe for for whatever problem there might be in this more you, more me, or something.
Yeah, sure.
And also the same for the location, whatever is going to be the location next year is not going to be the location in 2 years. And the other way around,
Now we have lots of location in India.
Yes. And I would say keep the since the very beginning. I think it would be interesting that, for instance, you, Himesh, you get involved, because this would mean that since the very beginning, of course, India is the default location, but since the very beginning, the aim is one day, to be able to spin off events that will happen out of India as well. And who knows? Maybe then around China, Hong Kong, Taiwan,
Singapore.
we get one day some critical mass. But today it's not there. Today it's not there. And in that event, you would invite some people. I mean, travel sponsorship program, and you will get people applying that also will come from Europe or from US or from wherever, and you will make the same type of decisions that we are doing here.
Okay.
So if we, so let me say just something. So there was someone joining, Netha.
She's already moved. She's already moved.
No. Hi, Netha. Do you know her?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I muted you. I want to unmute you. How do I do this?
You can't unmute.
Okay. Anyway, Netha, hi. If you are listening, hello from Zürich. So, what?
I guess you
Hello?
definitely have to tell the India.
Hi, hello.
Yeah, audible now.
Do you want to introduce yourself to be on record?
Am I audible?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Nice to meet you, everyone.
Yeah.
Have a great time in Zurich. I hope you're all enjoying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for pitching in late. So I was interested because I'm basically from India, and I'm also involved in sort of community building. And when you started discussing about the logistics, I thought probably I could give you an idea or two. I'm a member of the Wikimedia India chapter for the last 3 years. So my idea is that the Wikimedia India chapter would be very happy to host the hackers from the WMF and also the hackers from India. If we are planning on such event, probably I could help you in getting connected with the right people. Another difficulty I'm finding here is that in the month of August, we'll probably be having the elections for the Wikimedia India chapter board. So we'll have new members coming in, the old members quitting, etc. So I don't really know what could be the decision of the new board, but I think the existing board would definitely be happy to host any international event here.
Is there any other constraint or problem that you think would be there to have an event?
I think India. I think Bangalore would be the best location for you if you are looking at hosting people from outside the Wikimedia community, because it's in Bangalore that most of the hackers, most of the people interested in open knowledge and open source are located. Apart from that, I don't see any difficulty, and you can always get if you have attendees coming from outside of India, the Wikimedia India chapter would be able to provide you with the invite letters and work with the visa issues. Also, in the year 2011, we did conduct a Wikimedia India conference in which we had sort of 700 attendees, and most of them were Indians, of course, and we had also attendees coming from outside, and we did not have so many visa issues. So traveling in would be definitely easy, and the location, I don't think it would be very expensive for you. I guess Bangalore would be the ideal location, and also the climate would be very good throughout the year.
Very confident.
Yeah, well, no, this is more or less what I was saying. I think for practical reasons, in this first edition, I agree. You should go for the obvious choices.
Yeah.
So obvious choices are in India, in a place like Bangalore, with the help of the Wikimedia India chapter. Go to the safest bet. But also knowing all these rules, that then the second edition will not be in Bangalore. Yeah. The people who was directly involved will have to change. Because I think this is something I was saying at the beginning when you were not joining, is that I think one of the big successes of the Wikimedia Hackathon in Europe is the fact that it's changing of hands every year, and this actually helps a lot to have the technical capacity growing for different organizations, different regions, and this makes things a bit more difficult at the beginning, because many times we have to then teach more people how things get done, etc. But in the midterm, the return is a lot better. Now, for instance, now we know that we can organize hackathons in Europe in many different places, and there's people capable and with experience.
How big was the first hackathon in Europe?
First one was Berlin.
How big was it? How many people?
300, 200, 300, yeah.
Quite big.
Yeah, but as I said, I wouldn't be obsessed by those numbers.
No, the numbers are not important.
Yeah.
The thing, at some stage you need the... Hi, Netha. At some stage you need the numbers in order to be able to have the different workshops and get people who are interested in maps and who are interested in language technology, who are interested in Wikidata, for instance. You in order to have the different groups, you have to be large enough as a whole in order to split it up into different workshops.
I'm sorry, Jared. I can't hear you. I can hear you only in parts. Probably I have a slow connection over here. Could you repeat your question?
I didn't have a question. What I was saying was having a big enough group is important, because that allows you to split up during the hackathons in the different workshops on the different areas. So here we have things about maps, about Wikimedia Wiki infrastructure, about Wikidata, and it's possible because we have so many people here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, but then again, I think you can also organize successful hackathons with less people, just then focusing on less topics, because actually it's cause and consequence, Anyway, just to say that in the first year there were 300, but now we are not 300. We don't want to be actually 300, because actually we are happy staying in the 150-ish number, which is half of that number, because then it also allows us to really focus and get things done. And we don't have many tourists, in the sense that, okay, I'll just go there and see what they do. I mean, most of the people that come here, they come with something that they want to get done.
I have a question. So what time of the year are we looking at? So are we going it, to the late November, December, or do we want to do it in, say, 2 months or so?
No idea.
It probably in December, January.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, it's like quite hot.
Yeah,
in summer it's quite hot.
I have a suggestion. In November, we have sort of a meetup happening in Bangalore. It's called the Devcamps. So the Devcamps is the largest conference of women working with open knowledge and open culture events. And we know that in MediaWiki we have too few, women hackers. We have too few people coming from, diverse backgrounds. So probably, for the Devcamps India, there would be, so many women coming to Bangalore. They will be traveling from different parts of South Asia. There would also be people coming from, different parts of Europe and maybe the US. So if we could find a particular date which is, close to this event, probably we could get more attendance from women and also from people who are outside the Wikimedia community but also interested in hacking MediaWiki.
November is this? When in November is this?
I think it's on the 10th. I'm not really sure. I am helping them out with the logistics. So probably I should hear from them to finalize the dates. So as of now, we are looking at the 9th and 10th of November. That's going to happen. I think that's a weekend. I'm not really sure.
14th or 15th is the weekend.
Well, in any case, I mean, at least from the point of view of the foundation, your decision totally. So, yeah, I mean, and whatever makes sense for you, So, yeah, exactly. So we would, in the case of the European Hackathon, it's always around these dates because last year was around these dates. That's the whole criteria, I guess. So, but whatever works for you. And actually, it's good that we have. I mean, from the Wikimedia movement point of view, it's good that we don't overlap too much. So we have this hackathon happening around May usually. We know that Wikimedia with the hackathon as well is going to happen around August. We also know that around January, now there's this new spot, the Architecture Summit, something in the US, that we had already this year. Probably next year is going to be also around January. So it's good that this more or less draws a calendar. So something like October, November is a good spot for something happening then in India, if that also makes sense there.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The date is the EDA initiative is looking at November 29 and 30 for their camp. So probably if you're interested, we could have, our event conducted somewhere close to that date when so many people will be traveling to India, and that would be a good opportunity to network with new community members who are really looking forward to attend many events in India. I've just shared the link over the group chat.
Mm-hmm. All right. I really didn't expect to, finish this meeting with a date and a place or anything like that. It's really, what I wanted is to send a message that the foundation is supportive and basically also thinking that we are supportive, but also I think that it's important that we tie this to this model that is being proven here with the Wikimedia Hackathon in Europe. Anything else?
Let's start.
How much time would the foundation require? How much in advance should foundation we need to be told that this is happening, this is the details?
I think the critical point here is it's budgeting. So I don't know exactly when the chapters or whoever needs to ask for budget for this event. But to me, that's the critical point. I mean, we also would need to require extra budget because, for instance, we are giving some budget for travel sponsorship to the European Hackathon.
Okay.
But well, I think we would still be flexible. But of course, the sooner the better.
Yeah.
Probably we can have the participants sponsored by their own home chapter for the travel. In that case, we will be able to get we'll be able to cut down the number of scholarships and get other chapters involved as well.
Yeah. So this is the model also applied here in the European Hackathon, where the foundation had the majority of the sponsorship, but also there were 5 different chapters that had specific budget for developers of their own countries. All right. Well, I think I did my part of the job by kicking the discussion, and I think it's now you have the ball.
Yeah.
And if there's anything where the foundation can help, let us know. Keep us posted. I actually yesterday realized that I'm still subscribed to the MediaWiki India mailing list. So, yeah, and you know where to find me.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Well, thank you very much also for joining without, also thank you for joining the hackathon rhythm where sessions are scheduled less than 24 hours in advance. And now there's a video available for anybody willing to watch this. So even if it's not right now, but everybody else can be at the same level than us because there hasn't been any discussion apart from this. We just, that's all what it is now. Okay? Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.